I'd like to take a few minutes to give you some information on Module 7 assignment, Report on Quality Improvement Project. I am receiving quite a few emails this morning, so you might hear some dinging in the background, and please ignore that. I will give you an overview of this assignment, and then I will show you an example. I'm a great believer in a visual example. I think that really helps. So I will do that at the end of this video. So this assignment is worth 222 points, which is a sizable chunk of your grade. So I do want you to do well. And what you're going to do is look at a quality improvement project or initiative. If you are working, you can use that location. If you can access a past clinical site, that would be great. If you remember being at a clinical experience and you saw something that the institution was trying to initiate, possibly you could call them up and meet with their director of nurses or case manager or head nurse or whatever and ask them to give you some information. If you find that that is not at all possible, you may do a research study and find a hospital or institution that did institute a quality initiative. The only thing I'm asking is that you meet all the criteria below, that it has the outcome, the results, and those kinds of things. You could find research articles that would support that initiative. I don't think that would be a problem. So that is the first step, and that's probably one of the hardest steps, is identifying what you're planning on doing. And then from there, you will examine it, and then you are going to do the following PowerPoints. So I'm trying to see if I can get this to come down here on this slide. I think instead of going through this, I'll just go through the rubric because it's stating the same things. I have this set up. It's a little off-centered because I want to move over to the PowerPoint presentation and it fits well into the screen. So again, the first part is introducing and finding the quality improvement project or initiative. As I said, possibly where you work, possibly at a past clinical or current. I don't think you're in a current clinical experience at this time. And then finally, if none of these do not work, researching a quality improvement project. The second step, this is a slide presentation. So you need 5 to 7 slides, not including your title and reference. So if you count, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 slides right there. So you're going to have at least a minimum of 6 slides because you want this on each one of these on each separate slide. Describe the reason for the project. Now, if you remember back to NUR 125, you did a power presentation and then you had to add notes. So your presentation will be, or the slide is going to just highlight it, and the information will be in the notes. So that's how you will cover this material. The second is finding research evidence to support why this project was important. The third one was, how was it initiated? Who was put into action? Who was responsible for doing the change, making the change? These are things that are done usually because there is a problem identified, and what are we going to do about it? Using the SWOT method, which is looking at strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. And then what happened as a result of the initiative. And then finally, the conclusion is you're going to summarize the project if you have had personal experience with it. If you do not have personal experience with it, possibly your thoughts on it, where you could use it in the future, how giving some insight into why you thought it was good, what was the outcome that you agreed with or didn't agree with. The presentation is to be 5 or 7 slides. Again, think back to NUR 125 when you did this. It's always really nice to have graphics, those types of things. A background instead of just a white background adds to the presentation. and make sure it's readable, that it's not all smashed together on a slide. Um, this again, your slides and your notes and your references need to be consistent with APA format, and again, use good grammar, spelling, punctuation. So let's skip over to an example. This is an example of the Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative. And you can see nice slide identified at the top. Nice little picture there that always helps. The next slide is the introduction. Who supported it? What were the goals? Why it was done? What I am not showing you here, and I'll see if I can bring it up on a different picture, is where the notes are taken. So I will do that when I'm done with this. The background of the initiative, why they did it, what was the purpose of it. Again, the backgrounders, who are the stakeholders, those are the people that really are involved in the project and the outcome. And your research, what is backing up why this is a good project. And again, you'd see more of this in the notes. And the project was put into action. Here's how it took place. Here is your SWOT analysis. Here's a listing of the results. And this is nice. There's the results are on here. There's not too much information on here, but you wouldn't really want too much more information. That's about all you want to put on a slide. And your conclusion on your slide. Okay, and then you have your reference page. Personally, I understand why you want to make one slide a reference page, but I always think it's important to kind of keep your font consistent. But this is fine. So let me see if I can bring up a picture of one with notes, and I don't know if this is going to work or not here. I will move this over and see if this one doesn't seem to, let's see. Okay, here is one with the notes, and I'll make my screen bigger so you can see what that notes looks like. It's not letting me. Basically, you can see the notes that are listed down here on that information. Again, the background talks a little bit about how the program was developed, adds to the slide above. I'm going to skip down to the research. And this talks about, in the notes, what the slide was based on in the research. I'm sorry about the size of the screen. So that is basically an overview of what this should look like. If you do have any questions, please put them in questions for instructor, because that way, if you have a question, someone else might have that same question and we can talk about it there, and I will make sure that I'm watching that carefully so that I can answer your questions quickly so that you can keep working on this during the week. All right, and I will post this, and hopefully this will answer your questions.